Hey everybody, what's up? It's Jack. I'm here with Spy and Solus. He is another group member we run with often.
He's our healer buddy.
Yeah. So what we're going to be doing today, instead of having a talk, because we know that a lot of changes are coming to ESO, and we thought maybe it's best to see those changes before discussing anything that seems less relevant, really.
All right.
All right, so as we go along, there's 10 stages in here. As we go along, we will stop and explain the mechanics in each one. We'll probably use the same format that we've been using with the dungeons.
Where you going, Jack?
I don't know where I'm going, man.
All right.
Let's go ahead and lead the way.
Yeah, let's turn around here and let's actually, do the dungeon part.
Yeah. The arena.
Yeah.
We're going to do the arena. All right.
This is going to be one of those videos that we got to cut down, isn't it?
Nah, we're going to leave all the fuck ups in.
All right. Let's do it.
All right. So, Dragonstar is meant to be group content. Looks like our healer buddy brought his companion, so we're a four-man group for some reason. I think it'd be okay.
It's alright, I don't even have a companion on this class, so.
Really not too difficult on normal if you've got your character worked out.
There we go. Looks like we're just dealing with a bunch of trash mobs right now.
Yeah, in round one, or stage one of the arena, you basically deal with Fighters Guild enemies.
It's funny because they have Fighters Guild mages. Seems something a little bit wrong about that.
Yeah. They can't mage better than me. I promise.
I don't know. I might be able to here soon.
I don't know about that.
I'm just ready for that boss fight already.
Yeah. Each stage in the Dragonstar, so you can see there's spikes in this particular one. Each stage has a good amount of trash mobs, adpulls, whatever you want to call them, and then eventually you run into the boss. So that's really where the mechanics come in. Some of it's inbuilt, like these spikes.
Yeah, there are some stage hazards we're gonna have to deal with. Not too many though. Should be all right as long as he keeps us topped off and we don't run ourselves into spike traps. Should be all right.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'm gonna go stand in one. Let's see what happens.
Was not a good experience.
Imagine not. I gotta work out these sustain issues with Magicka. I'm gonna have to switch potions.
This build's actually pretty well equipped to just use the standard potions.
Yeah.
I have all my buffs already. Warden's being able to have all the buffs in the game basically means I don't really have to carry anything to give it to me.
Here comes the boss.
I am ready to clear this boss out. And there you go.
All right.
First boss down.
So, excuse me, just recap. In stage 1, known as the Dragonstar Arena, funny enough, you end up running into Fighters Guild enemies. The arena is obviously covered in spikes. There's a good amount of healers, which, as you saw, you know, if you're running content below your level, it's not really an issue, but it's something to be aware of if it's your first time running the Dragonstar Arena. So it's probably good to burn them first. Then you have sword and board melee mobs that have a pretty good amount of healing. The final boss is Champion Marsh. There'll be a lot of mobs that charge at you. Most of them are easy to kill if you stand close together with your group. The Gladiator, those are the most dangerous enemies in this stage, not because they deal a lot of damage, but because of their healing circle. When the Gladiator, if I can talk right, drops his healing circle, you need to make sure to pull him and all other mobs out of the circle fast, otherwise they heal back to full health very quickly. The healing circle cannot be interrupted, could be negated if you're running that ability. The boss fight, Champion Marsh, is not really all that difficult if you follow a few basic steps. Move out of his healing circle as fast as possible so he and his minions don't heal back up. In addition, make sure you stand behind the boss. Obviously, if you're not the tank, Marsh has a very strong conal attack that does insane amounts of damage if not blocked, especially if you're a vampire or a werewolf. So it's probably best you didn't bring the Templar.
Well, the thing is, I actually am a werewolf on this class, but I don't.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Well, I don't actually have any points in it, so
Yeah.
kind of just a sitting back werewolf, you know.
So at 70% and 40% health, you have mob spawn. At 40%, a gladiator will spawn that will most likely also drop a healing circle, sometimes in combination with the boss. Make sure to focus the gladiator so he dies as fast as possible. Alright, so at the end of every stage, there is a chest that you can collect stuff, collect loot from.
Let's see what I get.
Well, I'm hoping I get some good.
Oh, we get those plundered skulls.
Yeah. I'm hoping I get that recipe out of there.
I got some cursed feathers. Also, there is a merchant at the end of every single stage, and he will repair.
Yeah, that's right.
He also sells essence of stamina.
Important.
Oh, no. Yes, he sells essence of stamina, magicka, and health. So,
alright, yeah, there we go. Alright. I need to be running different food for content like this. I run Bewitched Sugar Skulls. Stage 2 is known as the Frozen Ring.
Speaking of your food buffs, I'm actually running my lava foot soup that you made me.
Hey, there you go. Made by Jack. I endorse that.
Oh. Alright. Well, I'm going to be ranged for sure on this one. That way I don't have to get out into the storm itself. My bow is slightly less damage than my main bar, but it definitely adds a lot of utility to my class. I definitely recommend bringing some range into this dungeon.
Yeah. One of the stages, which we'll get to see, but one of the stages has some stuff you gotta stop from getting to a certain location, so that probably would be helpful. And I personally haven't run this in a little while, so some of this is not quite new, but I don't necessarily remember it exactly. Not until I see it.
I've got my bird damage out. Gotta do that bird
Birds.
damage. Bird. There we go.
Friggin' bear.
You know, this class, this back bar with the bow reminds me back when I used to play Hunter and WoW. It's always kind of just fun to sit back with a bow and make everything pain.
Get close to the fire.
I'm sure many people have noticed I'm actually not running the bear this time. The reason for it is I'm actually using my class ultimate, or my weapon ultimates, and the reason for it is I kind of just want to try something new. I haven't used them in a long time, and I feel like it's probably just, you know, a bit of a good idea to level up abilities I haven't used.
Yeah. Oh. Get back close to the fire. That's probably one of the more annoying mechanics.
Between Poison Arrow and Bird Bleeds, I think I'm going to do alright with this.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I'm also running the Maelstrom Bow on this, so get a little bit of extra damage from volley. Immobilizations really stack up great here as well.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
Oh, I'm over here shooting his companion, thinking he's an enemy.
Good job.
I know, right? I'm doing so much work here.
Yeah, he said he was running his companions trying to get him leveled up. Alright, here we go. Hey, where you going, man? Back over here.
Let me get that bird damage stacked up on him real quick. Hold on. Let's see how many birds he can take.
Are we counting the bird?
We're counting in birds. We always count in birds.
I like it. Oh, snared me.
Alright, I'm going to clean out this side pack over here.
Alright. Alright.
Got her down.
Troll's ugly. Troll's real ugly.
Look at all that loot I'm getting off the ground here. A little bit of extra gold for my troubles.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go up here and grab this chest. Do you want to explain what happened here?
Yeah, I'm gonna grab the chest real quick. Alright. So, stage 2, the Frozen Arena. This stage, as you saw, contains 3 large fires which you will need to fight beside and keep lit to avoid taking periodic damage from the icy conditions. The bosses are Yavni Frostskin and Caddy Ice Turner. I probably murdered those names. None of us are strangers to that. Deep freeze mechanic, which is the mechanic that starts in wave 3. The fire will extinguish. You need to make sure to light them up as fast as possible. We didn't encounter that. It will cause you to freeze if you're not standing next to them. The boss fight with Yavni and Caddy is fairly easy. Make sure to stack both bosses, which we didn't really do, but efficiently you would stack both bosses, stand right at the gate when the bosses spawn. If you don't do that, the caster will run away from you. close to the fire, and then you can bring the melee boss next to the mage. At 50% health, ads will start to spawn with a troll and an archer that you need to chain in and taunt so they do not hit your healer and damage dealers. Stage 3 will be the Marsh. So, alright.
Let's go step into stage 3.
Yeah, I'm going to repair my gear real quick, because I think I'm getting hit pretty hard. Alright, stage 3. Let's go. Is this the one with the weird poisons?
I believe so, yes. I think this is the one with the big poison that takes up a giant circle area.
That's good.
Really good explanation there of what it was, but yes, you'll see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's important, you'll be able to see it. It'll be visible.
Yeah, this dungeon, or this instance, really, because it's an arena, it's different than a normal dungeon. This one's very focused on learning a single mechanic per stage and getting it down just right.
Yeah, because, so the thing in here is you will never see, each stage has its own thing going on, and you won't see it in any other stage. So, it's important you catch on quickly most of the time.
This one will allow me to use my two-hander a little bit more.
Yeah.
With the increase of mobs that we're going to see in this one, I'll be able to damage them down a lot better with a two-hander, I think.
Yeah.
Really bringing in the utility of like range and melee will probably help this out a lot if you're looking to run it.
Yeah, I would say definitely.
You need to be able to run when things get a little too dangerous.
Hey, that guy was going to explode in poison.
Well, what, you never exploded into poison?
I mean, I've had things explode on me in poison.
No, you gotta try it yourself
Hey, there
someday.
it is.
There you go. There's the big circle thing I was talking about when we first joined this arena. Not a great look. Oh, there comes the stranglers. I'm getting thrown across the map. Hold on.
That's good.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I can handle myself all right. I think we all can in this one.
Yeah. Well, and that's sort of the reason we run normal, is that way we have time to like stop and think for a second and be like, all right, you know, this is really what's going on. It's kind of important. You want to run normal first anyway, like no matter how, you know, powerful you think the character is, because usually most things have a lot of stuff going on.
I mean, I typically run this place solo. Having 3 people in it is definitely increasing our chances of getting this done.
Yeah.
I mean, there are many times where running it solo, it's more about the time that you're going to spend than not being able to do it.
It's like running Badish or Hollows or something like that, you know, it's...
Yeah, I saw you doing that just the other day. How did that pay out for you?
I didn't get the items that I was looking for, but the first time that I tried to run it, I was fairly low CP, and that didn't play out too well, which is fine. Now I know I can do it.
Oh, circle in the middle.
That lets me know I'm not going over there.
Yeah, that poison's pretty deadly. Do you remember our first time when we were doing this together and we said, what was it? It was, I wonder how much it hurts. I should go stand in it. And I was like, I'll go stand in it. And then just died.
Yeah. You gotta test stuff out sometimes, you know? There it is. Get out of that.
Yeah, this dungeon has a good amount of damage that comes out. You'll notice that really this dungeon just wants you to understand the mechanic that's going on. If you can understand the mechanic that's going on, you'll be alright.
There you go. Here.
Let me spread my dots around. Make sure everyone's got a 3 stack of bleeds and some fetcher flies on them.
They probably need that. Oh, knock me down. Why he's gotta act like that for?
Alright. We're having some things come in now. A bunch more enemies.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess. If I had to guess, I'm gonna say it's related to health levels. Most things in this dungeon seem to be with the bosses. Alright, that is stage 3 cleared. Run up here and grab his chest. Hopefully I get something good out of it. Sabaton's a footman. I can't have any more footmen.
Archer's
stuff.
Mind on mine. Archer's Mind's not a bad set.
Alright, so stage 3 of the Marsh, poisonous clouds come from random spawns in the area. They deal massive damage if you touch them. You just heard Spy say he died in it. It's like, stay out of it.
You gonna call me out for that?
Well, not this go around, but like, you know, you gotta test stuff sometimes.
Sometimes.
So, the bosses are Nocta and Shillin. To read, this is one of the more dangerous mobs in this area, or in arena. The mob drops a water AoE under someone. Everyone has to make sure to move out of it because it deals a lot of damage. Probably best to focus that one first. Stranglers pop up, jerk you around, make sure you kill them as soon as possible. Otherwise, they keep pulling players close to them, might cut off from the rest of the group. Waves 3 and 4, 2 stranglers will spawn in the northwest and southwest corner. In the boss fight, one or both damage dealers have to make sure to kill the stranglers that spawn on the southeast and southwest corner. After that, make sure to kill the totem of the mage boss and focus him. The mage boss will teleport around if you do not have a lot of DPS. And here we go, at around 75% and 40%, mobs will spawn that need to be killed. Probably best to save your ultimate for these ads so they die fast and you can focus the bosses again. So, stage 4 is going to be the slave pit.
Now, there are a good amount of stages here. Do you know how many there are?
There are 10.
10.
Yep.
Yeah. I know, I've read this a couple times and I always forget the exact number of how many are in here.
This looks like a lot like the one that gets the holes in the ground.
Don't remind me of that one.
It's real annoying, isn't it?
Hey, at least the fight with the last guy is not too bad.
No.
Just a lot of things in the way.
Once you figure out what's going on, most of this is not all that bad. It's annoying at most.
I think I kind of want that bow. Poison arrow will increase my weapon damage. That sounds great.
Yeah, more weapon damage equals more hurt.
Well, I mean, I always put poison arrow in everything, and right there I just crit poison arrow for 11k.
Oh, look, it's Netch. How do you feel about Netches?
You know, look, I like Netches. I got one following me around. He's my little buddy.
I don't know. You Netch's touch.
Don't ruin Netches with Netches touch set.
I mean, they made it. It sounds like it's their touch.
Their touch that added to that set.
Yeah.
No. That's not cage-free Netch.
Cage-free Netch?
Yeah, you gotta have cage-free Netch. You don't understand the process of cage-free netching, but it's something special.
I mean, I understand there's a whole lot of it in Dark Shade. Which
Well,
I ran, by the way.
I know.
I left you out of it because I figured it's probably best.
Look, I have a little bit of trauma with that place, but that's only because this automaton set doesn't come in a day.
Yeah. It happens, man. Everybody's after that one set sometimes, and this freaking dude feared me. It's not very pleasant to go after.
No. I'll tell you, I'm actually been considering replacing Briarheart with Archer's Mind. Which is funny, because you decided that, well, you didn't really decide that we were going to do this, but you were like, hey, maybe instead of having a talk, we should do not Veilstraw. Don't ever go take me to Veilstraw.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about it not that long ago.
Man.
And since I was thinking about this set, and I'd forgotten about it, right? Because I didn't really want to come back in here and do it.
Right.
But Archer's Mind is really, really good. It'll increase my crit damage by 8% more.
That's pretty good.
Well, for this build specifically being such a crit
Sounds like
build.
it's worth it.
Yeah. I mean, if you're sneaking or if you are invisible, it's 16%, which would be great for the Nightblade.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good buff.
Well, I mean, you know, an 8% extra crit damage is, you know, while just generally fighting, is pretty good.
Right. Oh, we got a lot going on over here.
But I've been considering replacing Briarheart with it, but I'm not quite sure yet. Briarheart does give quite a bit extra when it comes to weapon damage when I crit, so
Yeah.
it's something I'll have to maybe mess around with just a little bit and see how I like it.
This is definitely not the stage that I thought it was.
No,
I'm not
it's
looking forward to it.
it's not that stage, but I know it looks kind of like it, doesn't it?
It's a lot like it.
Yeah.
Something's got a hold of me.
Some of these stages look very similar. They have a very similar layout throughout all of them, but they do have a very similar look
Yeah.
to this one and the other one. You got I would call it, you got the square ones, or the circle ones, you got the square ones, and then you got the cross-looking ones.
Yeah.
That's really the three kind of dungeons you're going to see in this, or the three type of boss fights you're going to see in this. Alright, I'll take care of some of these mobs on the side.
That would be lovely.
Alright, back to fighting.
Good. This guy likes to knock you over.
How's that treating you, them knockbacks?
I mean, it's more inconvenient than anything.
Yeah, feel that. It was a strange choice to not take the bear up on this one, but I feel like he's gonna be all right at home for a little bit.
Yeah. He's seen a lot of action. He'll probably be
I think so.
all right. That is the end of that stage.
I want to see that loot. Oh, Archer's mind again.
Stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so that was the slave pit. You face Dunmer enemies
Woo!
from House Dre as well.
I got a
as
vampiric
Palmer.
lamp.
You know what? You're doing a little bit above and beyond. Anyway, Dunmer from House Dre, Quama, Netches, and Kagudi. Anyway, the Dre enslavers have a special attack that attaches a blue chain, which I don't know if you were seeing, but I was definitely seeing it. To one of your group members, damaging them. You'll also get enslaver ghosts that will wield their weapon, dealing AoE damage in a certain area. You have to ignore them, but keep healing. They have so much health it's not worth killing them. I don't know about that, but once you get to a certain point, it's definitely worth killing them. Other than that, the only real dangerous mobs in here are the mages. They spawn AoE that goes straight in a line forward and can deal a lot of damage. Try to avoid that. Sometimes you will get targeted by the enslavers with a beam. If you get that, you should make sure to go stay outside after a while. I just move, because at the end of a shadow, which does the AoE attack, will be placed on your position. You do not want that in the middle of your group. Earthenheart Knight is the boss. The boss has a lot of health and is very tanky. If she activates her magma armor, especially, which basically makes her immune to damage for a short duration. I did see that. I'm not sure if anybody else did, but through the damage numbers with the brackets around them. She also places eruption on the ground from time to time. Make sure to move the boss out of that area because the AoE field does a lot of damage to the tank and the players. Alright, so stage 5, the Celestial Ring.
Hold on, I gotta change this flame to blue. Alright, we're good.
Down there playing. I changed it to red. All
So
right,
yeah,
let's go.
so I got this add-on now. It's called ESO Theater.
Yeah.
And what it does, it lets me basically just have a bunch of these emotes just set up where I can click them.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I figure, you know, next time you're recording, I'll just torment you with a ton of emotes.
You know, look, I ran with Solus. He's gonna die in this round.
You think so?
Yeah, because this is not a very obvious mechanic.
I think you're not giving him enough credit.
You know what? If he doesn't, it's because we killed him.
That's probably
And it's
to
not
be
because
expected.
he's a bad player. It's because this is not an obvious mechanic.
I think he's been here before, has he?
No, he is not.
Oh, all right.
I was talking with him about it. He's not actually been to any of the arenas. He does need a set out of, I can't remember if it's this one or if it's Maelstrom. He's not quite there yet as far as Maelstrom goes. It has its own like weird set of rules with like armor cap and stuff like that. So,
I mean, you know, the thing is, I really need to run Black Rose. I have yet to have actually done Black Rose.
yeah, I think we need to do that here in the near future.
I'm very interested in it. It seems like a very fun one. Oh, better kill that mechanic. Hold on.
Uh-oh. It's on me.
You better go do the mechanic then.
I'm on it. Feel like it's gonna get me anyway. Oh no, I need to be over there.
No,
That hurt.
I saw that hurt.
Yeah. See, that's why I think what I think. Like, not because he's a bad player, but he's fine. You know, I forgot, and I've been here before.
You know, he watches our videos, and he's gonna really be disappointed in you if he doesn't die.
You know what? That's all right. He can take it up with me.
I think he might.
I don't know. He'll probably mention it.
He'll probably mention it for sure.
And I'll be like, you know, look, blue pillars and bolts of light. Like, I don't know. It just seems like it's not your thing, man.
Yeah, this is too mechanical for you. I don't know, man.
He's pretty good. He's played a lot of games. He'll figure it out pretty quick.
Oh, mechanic's on me.
Yeah.
Alright, now I can move. I don't know how long I could move because all that red stuff on the ground, but I can move.
I think you're going to be okay. Red stuff, like fire?
No, just red stuff on the ground from like, maybe fire? I don't know. Just a bunch of stuff on the ground made it kind of obfuscated.
Alright. We're waiting on boss.
Yep.
Waiting on boss.
I think the boss
I'm
is
gonna go
next.
Stand next to boss.
Nope, boss is not next.
Boss is not next. That's disappointing. Hey, that's a big thing. Bring him over here to me. Uh-oh. It's on me. Where's that?
Over here. I'm really liking Berserker. It's a pretty fun ultimate to be using.
Yeah. So I've started running Critical Surge as a way to. There's boss. Look, I went nowhere near it. Now I'm upset.
Stick that gargoyle out. I have mechanic. You know what? He might survive from these mechanics because he just hasn't gotten it yet.
Yeah. That's a good point. Oh, he's gonna hit me.
Oh, come on. You're walking him right out of the arrows.
What arrows?
I'm putting arrows on the ground and you're pulling them right out.
Kiting does nothing.
It does when it takes a second to activate an ability.
talking about me. I got told that in dungeon once.
Really?
Yeah.
Kite
Kiting does nothing.
Kiting does nothing. I don't know. I feel like I kite quite a lot.
Yeah, I think he was talking more about like as a tank.
Yeah, but I just like to run away sometimes. Oh, he has the mechanic. We better kill this boss quickly. Oh, he does not know what he's doing.
Yeah, I told you.
Oh, he's not getting it. Oh, there he goes. He exploded.
Is he dead?
Nope.
All right.
He didn't
Good.
die, but he definitely didn't get the mechanic.
It's all right. It's a weird one. It does not tell you exactly. It does translate it to you pretty well, but it doesn't exactly tell you.
Oh, look, I got a
You
I
know,
got a
if it's something good, I don't wanna hear
recipe.
it.
Recipe.
Oh, you got that one?
Bowl of peeled eyeballs. Yeah,
Yeah,
I already
that's
know
it.
it though. You want it?
I don't know if you can give it to me, being as it's a event thing.
Oh, look.
All right, so stage 5, Celestial Ring, is what we just went through. You are facing off against the Ankara warriors and enemy gargoyles in a sandy arena covered in constellation stones, which is the mechanic that we were referencing. The Ankara Shadowcasters have an ability to mark player for death via Celestial Blast, which can only be prevented by rushing to the highlighted constellation and standing there until the effect wears off. If you manage to kill the Shadowcasters first, fast enough, you will not get any Celestial Blasts at all. It's recommended memorizing where and when those Shadowcasters spawn to nuke them to the ground. That way you don't have to deal with this. You also have archers that spawn in some of the rounds that do AoE attacks that deal a decent amount of damage. You can interrupt by bashing or chaining. The boss fight is Anala Tuwa. Right when the boss fight starts, it's probably a good idea to use ultimates because you also get a gargoyle that can stone a player and a shadowcaster along with the boss. So focus down the shadowcaster and the gargoyle to avoid the celestial blast and getting stoned. The tank should make sure to keep the boss and gargoyle close by so you can damage them with AoE abilities at the same time. At some point, the boss will drop a standard, which deals a pretty good amount of damage, and you need to move out of it because of this pretty much immediately. It's best to go back to the part of the arena where you entered, keep the boss there. At 40%, you get another Shadowcaster that spawns directly at the door. That would be the reason you go to where you entered in. Make sure to focus that one down so you don't get more Celestial Blast going on. There's also add waves. The tank has to make sure, or should make sure, the tank should make sure to keep the gargoyle taunted together with the boss. Be careful of the fire AoE lines that the mage will cast. Alright. Moving along quite nicely. Stage 6 is the Grove.
Nice. So, I don't know if you caught all that, but we were sharing some mystery meat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's probably a lot of puking going on.
Just a few, but you know, it was a nice, wholesome event.
Was this the Grove?
This is
I
the
am
Grove.
waiting to see the one that has the dead stuff trying to crawl out of the ground because it's not fun.
Hey, as long as you don't get pulled into it, right?
Yeah, it's more one of those things. It's, you know, you look at it from a distance and you go, all right, what is that?
And
But then you don't go find out.
Yeah, look, I found out on accident, and that was not a great find out, so I'm good.
Yeah.
Come on, let's pull these werewolves out. I want to fight them.
That's not a werewolf.
This is, and now it's a dead one. Oh, wait. Poison works well here, doesn't it?
It does.
Well, you know what I'm gonna be doing. Pack hunters.
Us or them.
You know what? I'm not sure anymore.
It's alright. Look, I'm trying to damage stuff that hasn't even come out yet. Let's see, you don't know what the gray rounds in the ground are, do you?
Honestly? No. Look, I solo it. That doesn't mean I do the mechanics right.
Yeah, I kind of talked about that whenever, during the Dark Shade video. It's not so much, like, I know it's bad form not doing the mechanics, but there does come a point where you just don't have to worry about it. You burn it down and deal with the mechanics after.
Only some things like that can work. Some things you really have to learn the mechanics, but for older content especially, you can basically blitz through some of it. And
yeah, there's a good amount of it that you can just not deal with, but that comes with, you know, when your character is lined out, you get a little more high in CP range, so, which is not a brag, it's where we're at.
Well, you can also get by pretty well with just having damage shields as well.
Yeah.
Damage shields, of course, always have done really, really well in the game, so. I mean, that's why we have a CP point in the skill tree, just so that we can do more damage to damage shields.
Alright. I'm liking this destruction touch morph. It's working pretty well.
Oh, yeah, we're really burning through this.
Yeah.
You know, we might see some more about that ability pretty soon on the channel.
Yeah.
And you know, you talked about Darkshade, right?
Yeah.
And how you guys, you know, ran it without me. But I think I don't have that many issues with Darkshade.
No. I'm not saying you have issues.
Look, I'm not taking the Warden back in there ever again, but who's to say I won't go back in there soon anyway? Ah? I'm being a bit cheeky with it.
My little buddy here put a path on me, and now I'm moving real fast, and I'm not used to it. Get up. I got a werewolf on me.
Hold on. Let me go ahead and just do some AoE here. There you go. Boop. Alright. Ah, Spriggan.
You don't like Spriggans? You got something against Spriggans?
I got a few things against Spriggans, alright?
Alright.
Hold on, I gotta open my plundered skull. We don't know what I'm gonna get.
No, we're not going to talk about that. Stage 6 is the Grove.
I got no mana
As I had said before, you will fight pack hunters, Bosmer, Werewolves, brigands, lurchers. Aside from the Bosmer, every enemy will leave behind a green AoE upon death, which converts health into magicka when you stand in it, but you also get a lot of damage from it. That doesn't sound very appealing. The tank has to make sure to keep big mobs taunted. They have hard-hitting abilities which will kill most non-tanks. You will also get a few special archers that spawn that use a draining shot on you. You can dodge roll this attack. If you do not dodge roll it, you will lose resources rapidly. Make sure to focus them as soon as possible. The boss fight is Pishna long shot. The boss has a similar attack to the archers. He will charge the bow and launch a draining shot at a player. Make sure to dodge roll it, otherwise resource drain. Make sure to have AoE ultimates ready at the start of the fight because there will be mobs that spawn as well. This is a good way to make sure they die pretty quickly and you can focus the boss. The boss also has a conal bow spray, which is easily avoidable. Simply walk out of the area or just block it. The tank should interrupt the boss from time to time whenever it tries to charge an attack. Other than that, the boss itself is not really the most dangerous thing. The big mobs will leave the green AoE fields on the ground if you kill too many of those at the same time. They will all drop these fields and the damage can stack, and that's no good. You will get a total of 2 ad spawns during the boss fight. It's probably best to save your ultimates for then. That is it for stage 6. Moving on to stage 7 will be the Circle of Rituals.
We're just over here digging a grave.
I think we'll be alright. Yeah, it's been a real long time since I've been here. I do not remember, not that I don't remember how to like play, but
Sometimes I forget how to play games.
I mean, everybody forgets.
I mean, it's literally my job, but I forget how to do my job.
You forget.
You forget.
I forgot. It's happened to me.
Look, all you gotta do now is just kill them sacrifices. Cause
Oh yeah, that is what this one is.
Yep, sacrifice killing.
See, that's the thing. I'll forget, and then I'll remember.
You mean I'll remember for you?
Yeah, sometimes.
Get them sacrifices.
Something's hit me. I
Ah.
don't like it.
I don't like being immobilized with sacrifices on the board. It's not cool.
For that.
Bannikin. I got him. Daedroff, that's not cool, man. Don't be doing that.
Clan Fears, everybody's favorite.
Maybe just your favorite.
It's not. It's not my favorite. There was a whole lot of sarcasm in one statement.
Yeah, I feel it. Clan Fears and Oblivion were the fucking worst.
I can imagine.
Well, I
imagine that Clan Fears everywhere were the worst.
It's not that they do damage. It's not that they do a lot of damage. It's that they do stupid. They just make you feel stupid when you mess up once.
Yeah.
They're literally there just to punish you when you shouldn't be punished that hard. But,
Like the whole jumping thing is it's too much.
get good. That's the answer. It's the only answer I can give you.
It is the only answer.
Just get good at learning how to not get murdered. I'm gonna leap from side to side and catch every one of them.
That's probably best.
Got to keep my buffs active even when I'm on the bow bar. Sometimes
Never let your guard down.
not with Clan Fears around. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. Plant fears are not cool, man. They're just really annoying more than anything.
I'll make sure these sacrifices never get sacrificed.
Alright. Deal. Spider.
Spider?
Yeah.
Ah.
Not the good kind.
I don't think there is such a thing as a good kind of spider.
I mean, really, there's not, but, you know.
Look, I might have arachnophobia, and that's not just what I'm saying here. Like, it's not that. It's not that I'm biased. It's that they're just bad. Alright? Spiders are bad. They always have been.
Well, yeah, man, there's spiders. Come on now.
There's never been one fantasy world where spiders are the good guys. Alright? Why do you think dark elves, like, you know, or the drow work with them in D&D?
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, look, if they work with the drow, they're probably not good.
No. That's a sacrifice. There's another one. I got him.
Oop. Man, you're just getting tagged around, aren't you?
A little bit.
Got everything around on you. Just how you dealing with all this?
I mean, I got a shield and got good, I think.
Yeah, you
I
want
was
to?
told that once. You get a shield, you get good.
Yeah, get a shield, get good. You know how it goes. Everybody at home, you know how it goes. Get shield, get good.
Yeah.
2 requirements to the game: shield and sword. Really, you can just cut it down to 1, though.
Oh, I got silenced.
Sorry for anyone who just got flashbanged. I got flashbanged.
Yeah, it happens.
Ah! My eyes!
So, taunt is not currently working.
Taunt.exe
Yeah.
is no longer
yeah.
functioning.
Yeah.
How about Jack? Is Jack still functioning, or...
I'm doing everything I can here. But,
Look, I'm doing everything I can here. And this Shadow Knight's not making my life any easier, alright? I'm trying to get these sacrifices, trying to do what I can do here. I'm getting punched down a little bit, alright? Sacrifices, kill it. I killed it.
man, they're trying to silence me again.
I can't be silenced.
I don't disagree with that.
Look, if this YouTube thing doesn't work out, I'll probably just go scream into a corner long enough. Someone will hear me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm standing in them runes. What are you gonna do about it except hurt me? Ah, sacrifices, kill them.
You do that, I'm gonna do this. Or get knocked over. You know, whatever happens first.
Alright, I'm gonna kill this Daedroth because I really, really don't think you like Daedroths anymore.
You know, look, March the Sacrifice is something we don't talk about often. And probably shouldn't. So,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh look, hold on. I got my plunder skull. Let me open that real quick. Oh shit, I got wheat stack
There
for
you
my
go.
house. Yeah, a stack of wheat.
All right, stage 7, the circle rituals, seemingly takes place in Oblivion, which is why it looks so funny, with a backdrop of Daedric ruins and lava. You fight against Bloodwrath, Dremora, Bannikins, Daedroth, Clanfear, which is just, you know, it's lovely. The arena contains 3 altars. The mechanic here is that you have to stop seemingly zombie sacrifices that walk slowly towards the altars. At first, it'll be small ones. Later on, you get big ones. If you don't kill them in time, the prisoners will be transformed into sacrificial summons, which can either be a scamp or a Daedric Titan. Note that the sacrifices continue appearing even if your group isn't in combat, which creating an unkillable stack of Titans that can only be cleared by dying. That's terrible. So don't let that happen. Your best strategy here is to assign people to either side so they can always check whether a sacrifice spawns or not and kill it as quickly as possible, which would have been the role that Spy was taking on.
Someone's got to do the dirty work.
Yeah. There's a lot of fire damage in this round. Make sure not to be a vampire or reduce to stage 1 if you are. The tank should taunt most of the mobs because all of them do quite some damage. Daedroths also spit fireballs at everyone, knocking players back if not blocked. The boss fight is Shadow Knight and Dark Mage. The mage can fully heal herself if not interrupted, which sometimes proves to be just really inconvenient. If there is a Nova on the ground from the melee boss and a negate from the ranged boss, the mage also places mines on the ground, which deal a good amount of damage. The tank can clear the mines or position the boss at a different spot. The melee boss will sometimes blind you and drop a Nova that deals a huge amount of damage, so make sure not to directly stand next to the boss. Sacrifices also spawn throughout the boss fight. So be aware of that. You get a lot of big sacrifices which have more health, so you may want to kill them with both. You may want to have both of your DPS, focus those down. On top of that, trash mobs also appear. Probably good to save your ultimate for them. That's stage 7. Stage 8 is the Steamworks. So I guess we're going to see what that's about.
Well, we dug the portal out for you.
I appreciate it.
Oh, I hate this one.
You know what? I don't remember until it starts. I'm not going to remember it.
I'm going to tell you it.
It's a thing.
It's Colossuses, man. Dwarven Colossuses and Ice Mages.
You know what? I like those.
I don't as much. They do damage and it hurts.
Yeah. That's why I like them. They run up and smack me and I'm like, oh, you hit like a little girl.
I think you're gonna get. I think you're gonna be sorely mistaken for all of that.
I don't know. I'm a little more tuned in than when the last time we were here.
I know that, but if I'm remembering right, these guys hurt pretty bad. We'll see how it goes. The ice mages and stuff probably really won't help. Oh, hate frost mages.
Oh, silence bubble.
I'm just gonna stand it in and punch. I think I'll do quite well.
Yeah, that's the only really inconvenient thing for me.
Yeah, mage classes definitely have to deal with a pretty good amount more of kind of just stupid things that go on. I mean, you gotta limit them somehow, right?
Yeah.
That's always been
class deals with that a little bit.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's a lot of fights that you just can't be melee on, really.
Yeah, I can't. We ran some dungeon, and I remember there was some boss fight or something where you couldn't hit him.
Oh, I really don't like taking on these Dwarven Centurions alone. They put that debuff on someone, and they do not kid around with it. Debuff just hurts.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll be able to tell us more about that mechanic later, but I don't know what it is, if I'm honest. It just hurts. And that's how I know when it's out.
Yeah. It's a good sign.
I mean, that's rule number 1 of DPS. If it hurts, don't stand in it.
Yeah. Oh, great. Healers.
Alright. Here we go.
Hey.
Oh, guess who's got the big
them.
boy? I got the spinny ball of death.
Try and get him. You won't, not cooperate.
Oh, I'm alright. I got range. Did I ever tell you how much I hate getting frozen to the ground?
It's really not an enjoyable experience.
No, it's especially not whenever when it happens from players as well. Even though I'm the guy doing that most of the time, it's not fun. It's really just not cool, man.
There's one down. Two down.
Oh, I just walked backwards into a bunch of dwarven stuff, so that's not cool.
That's never good at all, actually.
Makes me feel like I'm playing Morrowind whenever you walk backwards into something.
Hey, there it is.
Ah, crap. I can't go one Friday without Morrowind. One. I know.
Alright. I do not have my ultimate ready. Normally not a problem, but it's probably best to have your ultimate ready here.
I'm gonna say maybe.
I got this sneaking suspicion that it's a good idea.
Hey, by the way, I feel like I should tell you, Dwarven automatons are back.
Are they?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
That's real good news, you know?
Alright, look, I'm gonna burn them. That's what we're gonna do. Alright, one. Don't knock me over.
I'm doing bird damage. Birds have been released.
Look, they're coming at me. I don't like it.
I don't like this. I do not.
Oh, what is that? I slowed down.
I guess they just spawn continuously forever now. So that's part of our life, and we're just gonna have to deal with that.
I'm knocked over, and it hurts a little bit. There's a boss.
I'm gonna damage the boss. I'm gonna let y'all do the actual work, and
I'm kind of slow right now. I don't like it.
Got
Boss
him.
is dead. Now let's deal with this.
Hey, I wouldn't mind if they were to just despawn.
You know, that's something unique to this place. Normally when the boss dies, everything that come with it goes away.
It actually does, but it takes a little bit longer than you think it does for them to go away.
Yeah. All right.
Witch Mother's
Steamworks.
Party Punch.
Party punch.
Yeah.
You get a recipe?
Yeah.
There you go. All right, stage 8, the Steamworks. You'll be fighting against dwarven automatons and enslaved mages. The blue centurions that spawn will need to be taken down quickly. They're the ones that freeze you in place. or surround you with a slowing AoE, which I was definitely a victim of during that fight. You can interrupt their ice attack if you're fast enough. The red Centurions shoot a fire AoE onto one player, but only if the ice Centurion is not interrupted. If you get both of these big AoE circles, make sure to stack them. Yes, stacking will negate the damage you receive from them. The green Centurions perform a powerful spinning AoE, which will need to be tanked or kited. It's funny because I was told the kiting doesn't do anything.
I was told that I'm going to kite it no matter what.
Yeah. You also find a lot of dangerous mages that deal a good amount of AoE damage. Be careful to avoid the damage. On top of that, there will also be a melee mage that drops negates over the group, which is real freaking annoying.
I really don't like being stuck to the ground with ice.
Melee mages should be the priority.
Melee mages. What is that?
You also encounter, it sounds like a stamina sork to me. You will also encounter Dwemer mobs, especially the big spears. They have AoE, line attacks, barely visible, but can one-shot someone who's not built right. The boss fight is Mavis, Talnarith. The fight is quite difficult. There is a lot of incoming damage, especially when all the mobs spawn. It's recommended that you place the boss either where he spawns or more towards the middle. The boss will place a scalding rune. If not blocked, you will get knocked into the air. The damage you get is low, but being knocked in the air is never fun. The boss will also use Shooting Star from time to time. If you do not block this attack, you will almost certainly get one shot. Reminder, this is for people who are at the level where they should be running this content. So if you can run harder content, you may not deal with the one shots, the high levels of damage, and whatnot. There is a sound associated with Shooting Star. The boss also shoots a wave of fire towards the tank from time to time. Try to avoid it. At 80%, a melee battle mage, a stamina sorcerer.
As if.
I'm just kidding. The melee battle mage will spawn. Make sure to focus that mob because it will place negate on the group, which can kill you if you do not move out fast enough. You also get a red, blue, and a green Centurion that spawn in. You want to make sure you interrupt the blue one to avoid the red and blue circles. Probably best to save your ultimates for after the melee mage's death. That way the Centurions can be burned down quickly. And you will continue to deal with the Centurions. Alright, stage 9, Crypts of the Lost.
What do you think of my extra jelly?
Your extra oh, yeah. Look at you. You got a netch.
I got 2 netches.
Look, I'm going to mail you Netch's Touch.
I'm going to have...
So much.
I already have Netch's touching me. I'm good. This is the bad one. The one you were talking about. The one you're afraid of from, like, stage 2.
Yeah, you know what? Look, there should not be holes in the ground with, like, dead things come out of it.
I feel like that's the only
me.
place that dead things could come out of.
Yeah, it is the only place they could come out of, but I feel like they shouldn't.
Maybe they'll be peaceful. We do have a skeleton with us.
We do. He's very proud of his skeleton.
I know. He went to Shadowfen. Poor man, didn't he? Just real sad. Real sad story. Had to go to Shadowfen for that.
Yeah. I tried telling him not to. He didn't listen.
Well, you know, he went to Shadowfen as just a normal Breton and came back this. I don't know what happened there, but it was not good.
I mean, Shadowfen happened. Hey, look, there's the holes in the ground.
I don't ever think I've only seen him take it off twice. Oh, I fell in.
Don't do that.
I can't help it now. I'm in.
Oh, I got feared.
Look, I believe in you guys, alright?
Are you stuck?
Nope. Just the thing bugged, so I couldn't leave automatically.
Oh.
Yeah, it's good, it's good. We're good. Look, don't worry about it. I'm back. Everybody find a hole and jump in it. All right. And
No, I think I'll leave that to y'all.
you seem a little scared to jump in it.
Oh, dang, I was trying to change skills.
Yeah, you don't have very much time in between waves.
You don't.
You really got to just be prepared before you enter the portal. I will say though, if you enter the portal and you walk in, that's when they spawn. They don't spawn whenever you just walk into the portal.
Right.
So you have to actually, be in the arena itself.
Right.
So if you're having any issues with changing your class up before, I would do it before.
Yeah. It's not really important. Just.
No, it's just for help whenever you need to change your things around. You just really don't get enough time in between. Which isn't always a bad thing though, because
Alright, there we go.
there is some good action in between. Like there's basically just keeps rolling until you're done. Ah, no. I almost just leaped into one of the big giant holes in the earth.
Yeah, don't do that. I wonder what Solus thinks of the Dragonstar.
Probably get me the hell out of here a little bit. And also, yay, free loot.
Yeah, yeah. It's not to say that healers can't do things, but they definitely have to respect. If they're
If they're planning to
for a
do it
healer,
quickly, I mean,
Yeah,
you'll get through it as a healer for sure. It'll just take you forever.
yeah. Kind of like me in Banished Cells too.
Yeah.
That was not a fun experience.
When I came in here and watched that while you were recording, I was really just like, holy crap, this is just so much going on.
It is.
And you're tanking it all fine. That's the thing. It's just gonna take a little bit to get it done.
Yeah. It's a little aggravating.
Oh, there's a giant circle in the middle of it now. And I don't like that.
Yay.
Probably does damage or something.
Oh, hey. Burn. Because I want you to. Oh, he knocked me over. I can't see his heavy attack.
I'm gonna shoot him with a bow.
Uh-oh.
No! Oh, crap.
I mean, I got him. It's
Uh,
not helping very much.
foot placement is a big deal here.
Yes, it is.
You ever just go on fine and then one mechanic reminds you that you've just been playing wrong for a little bit?
Yeah. I've been there.
Ooh.
Look, he's gonna make a big hole in the ground. Get up.
I'm gonna clear these mobs out.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're gonna have to anyway. Seeing as how they don't go away when the boss dies.
Not quick enough, I'll tell you that. They do go away. Just takes like a minute.
Oh, I got snared. I don't like it.
I brought my cleaver out and it worked.
It's good. I like that. Oh, thought you were gonna knock me over that time, didn't you?
We got it.
Yay.
We did it.
Alright.
Are you proud of us?
Give me something good. You got a lot of rings.
I got a Ring of Destruction Mastery.
All
And a
right.
Driftwood Idol.
So let's see here. Stage 9, Crypt of the Lost, takes place in a graveyard. You'll be faced with a lot of undead enemies, including grave oaths, skeletons, and wraiths. The arena is dotted with holes in the ground, which are never fun.
Nope.
And should be avoided.
Recommendation, don't fall in there unless you have damage.
Yeah. Skeletons will pull you down and force you to fight your way back to a portal back to the arena. Although they can easily be avoided. I don't know about easily, but yeah, stay out of the way. The most dangerous mobs are the ghosts. They shoot a ice AoE wave towards players, which deal a decent amount of damage and root you to the ground. The tank will be quite busy as he has to taunt or chain most of the mobs. If you stack them all at one place, just burn them with AoE. In case someone gets pulled down by the skeletons in the hole, make sure you have a heal or a shield slotted. You'll receive a decent amount of damage down in the separate room. On the last wave before the boss, you will also get a ranged mini-boss and spawns. He will be damage immune after he casts his shield. Someone needs to go down to the skeleton hole on purpose and kill the ghost that is down there so he loses his shield and you can kill him again. Same thing will happen again. Now, this time on the right side of the arena, a melee two-handed mini-boss will spawn. Same thing here. Both of the mini-bosses have very strong attacks. The tank needs to be tanking and making sure to keep them taunted and interrupted if necessary. The boss fight is Vampire Lord Thesa. This boss has a lot of heal. 2 ads will spawn at the start with him. Make sure to kill them first before you attack the boss. The boss has a huge bat swarm, attack, which needs to be avoided. Otherwise, you sustain a pretty decent amount of damage. Sometimes he also uses mist form, making him almost immune to damage. He also has a strong shield charge attack, which I was victim of several times. The tank should make sure to block it. At 80% on health on the left side, a mage mini boss, and on the right side, a melee two-handed mini boss will spawn and send their ghosts down the skeleton hole. One player has to go down and kill both of the ghosts. I recommend going down at like 90 to 85%. So you can wait there and spawn kill the ghosts. Once the 2 ghosts are dead, the player who can go back up and help kill the 2 mini bosses. You will also get an ad wave at some point, but after that, there's nothing special, just the boss. All right.
Hey Jack, had you noticed that the Shrine of Boethia is right above us?
Oh, look at that!
Yeah. I just noticed that. I thought it was just a giant mountain.
So this is the last stage, the Champions Arena.
Yep.
Let's go be champions. Oh look, lava.
Mortal enemy of the vampire.
Yeah. Good thing you're not on the Templar.
You know what? It's a really good thing I'm not on Templar because this last boss is almost entirely flames.
Yeah. Vampires and fire are not friendly to one another.
Hey, I mean, I know we can do it, but I'd rather probably just not do it.
Yeah, it adds a little bit of...
Just a little added bit of...
Too much.
Yeah. Especially because I stay on stage 3 with him quite often. It can stack up pretty bad.
Well, I mean, you know, you want that bonus, so...
Especially for mist form.
Yeah. Hey, just
ready?
Straight up boss. Alright, come on. Oh, he froze me in place.
It's alright, Bear's here in spirit from the Celine set.
It's alright.
Ooh, focus him down. Don't even worry about the other bosses spawn in right now.
Working on it.
Ooh, alright. Now it is time for me to back off and start doing ranged. Never mind, he's coming to me.
Well, doing what I can here with the taunt. They want to make me not use magic. Get up and get out of the fire.
Come at me. Got him.
Right. Is that really it?
Yeah. It's a pretty good fight, but it doesn't really work, does it? It feels kind of underwhelming.
A little bit, yeah.
Hey, I want this one.
Which one?
I want this one, the one on the one I went to.
Look.
He's gonna have to.
Skeleton.
The skeleton had to jump in the fire to get to his.
Yeah, he'll be alright.
We really left him with no other option, but it's alright. Hey, look, another shrine to Boethia. Hello, Boethia. Please.
Might have to have a lore video on that.
You know, I think I should. I did Periite already, and I really, really like Boethia.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite Daedric Prince.
Champion's treasure. Master's axe, Master's sword. Something.
Master's battle axe, two-handed.
You know what? Look, I am okay with Master's axe and sword because
you had to get
I don't exactly know what it does, but I dual wield on the Drag Knight, so. Alright. Stage 10, the Champions Arena. Boss fight. Heath, the Battle Master. Didn't seem like he was a master very much, but the final round takes place in Boethia's realm of Oblivion. Unlike the previous rounds, it is a single, prolonged boss fight with no checkpoints or waves. You will be fighting Boethia's champion, Heath, the Battle Master. Again, didn't seem like a master, but hey. There are a few tactics that usually work with this boss fight. The tank should take away the mini boss ads so the healer and damage dealer can focus on the main boss alone. The healer needs to slot a taunt for this to work. As Heath's health decreases, he will summon champion Markald and Mavis Talnereth at 75%. At 50% health, he will summon Yavni, Frostskin, and the Dark Mage. Now when the boss fight starts, the tank will take the boss to the upper area and everyone else will stand at the entrance door. The tank needs to be able to survive alone for a bit. This way you can avoid the nasty fire area of effect damage that gets placed on the group at the start. Once the boss places the fire AoE, the tank can walk back to the group. Now everyone needs to damage the boss as fast as possible. When the first two mini-bosses spawn, the tank taunts them and walks away with them back to the upper field. The healer has to taunt the main boss and bring him closer to the door. We were not going to put Solace through that because he's going through enough. Being as it's his first run, you will get pulled to the boss at 50% health, followed by an explosion. If healing is on the ground, you will survive. This is where it's important that the tank is far enough away so he does not get pulled. After this, the tank can slowly walk back and taunt the two new ads that spawn and walk away back up again. The other three players then just focus on killing the boss as fast as possible. At 25% health, the boss will pull the players to him again, but just keep damaging the boss. And that is it. That is the Dragonstar Arena. If you've never ran it before, I hope that gives you a little bit of education on the different stages. I know there's a lot of stages going on. There are not, other than the last stage, there are not really any kind of overlap in the mechanics. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot to learn. There's a reason this is a group arena, and I think everybody saw why. So anyway, yeah, that's good break from running dungeons. Not that, you know, dungeons don't need to be explained, but there are also several arenas in the game and they need to be explained as well. And with the update 32 coming up, it's probably just best if we wait until the update comes out to see exactly how everything works, armory system, and all that jazz. It's not too bad. Once you master this, you get your characters lined out, you get a good group together. Go ahead and try Veteran Dragonstar. I can only imagine how fun that is in comparison to this, with all the stuff that's going on in some of the stages. But
I've been over here telling Soul what you've been talking about him. Telling him you're talking a lot of trash.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell him. In face to face.
He's over here digging my grave already.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I know, right? Hey, he made an APC reference. The Perfect Circle, man. That's a great band.
You know what?
Look, you never find anyone who talks about that band, and I'm happy that we finally have a group member who does know it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that is all I have.
Yeah.
There's some pretty good sets come out of here. I will make sure that they end up in the description of the video. A lot of the ones that provide unique effects that you don't get from other sets are 2-piece sets, kind of like the Maelstrom items, the Maelstrom weapons. This particular arena also has that going on for it. So anyway, that'll be it for the Dragonstar Arena walkthrough. If you have an arena or dungeon that you would like to see, please leave it below in the comments. We will make sure to prioritize that one. I know some of the content is not, ZOS doesn't translate the mechanics that are going on very well sometimes.
Yeah, look, for that one where he has to go and run to the platform, that is not at all telegraphed to you.
No.
It's just like, you better be looking in the direction you need to run, or at least aim your camera around to it at some point, or you die.
Yeah. Badishran Hollows has a lot of that going on. That one and Maelstrom's not too terribly bad, but Badishran Hollows has definitely got some stuff going on in it that is not explained to you through playing it.
I took the Sork through Maelstrom 9 times the other night.
That sounds like
punishment. 9 Maelstroms in one night is too much for one man.
Yeah, I can see that. I agree.
It wasn't that bad, but I took him through it, and I paid the price dearly. The price being that I wasted a whole lot of time.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. So I'm trying to farm set out of there, and
which set? The
permafrost set.
Yep, that's the one I'm wearing.
Yeah,
it's a fantastic set.
Trying to get that out of there. I keep getting all the other pieces except for that one. I would also like to get the crushing wall. But yeah, so. Anyway, that has been Dragonstar Arena. That's all I have for it. If you like this kind of content and you would like to see more coming, please like and share the video, subscribe to the channel. It does help the channel, but more importantly, it gets the information out to players who need it. And that's really what we're here for. So that's all I've got. Spy, do you have anything?
Yeah. Everybody go out and buy a copy of Morrowind.
Yeah, we can't make it out of a video without talking about that.
I didn't even mean to.
That's actually what this channel is about.
We literally made this channel off the back of Morrowind, and while we did start with Elder Scrolls build guides,
there
was Morrowind that just like infested.
Yeah.
And
it's a good game,
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just part of my life now, and I can't escape it. That's the real fear, is that you just can't escape Morrowind anymore.
Yeah.
If you play it, you'll love it. So just buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
you know, we're really just salesmen of fine wares. That's really what this whole channel is about, is you know, selling you on the idea of Morrowind.
Yeah.
And you know, some might call that, you know, trash. Me, I call this treasures.
Yeah. Yeah. But all right, everybody. We will see you guys in the next video.
See ya.